What is agoraphobia? Agoraphobia is often misunderstood. The literal definition of agoraphobia is a fear of open spaces. But the literal definition fails to include the more in-depth issues faced with agoraphobia. Individuals that suffer from agoraphobia are not necessarily afraid of open spaces. They are afraid of having a panic attack in situations or places that would cause them embarrassment. Agoraphobia develops when an individual becomes afraid of being in certain situations where they may panic. Individuals that suffer from this associate a place or a condition with a feeling of panic. People with agoraphobia are often afraid of embarrassing themselves in front of other people because of said panic. And in more extreme cases, individuals even become housebound due to their crippling fear.
Treatment. Psychotherapy. Several types of psychotherapy and counseling help agoraphobia. One of the more common techniques is cognitive behavioral therapy. In cognitive behavioral therapy, the patient is educated on the panic attacks and the causes of their panic attacks. The patients are also educated on ways to prevent panic attacks or ways to cope with them, the cognitive part. The patients then undergo desensitization or exposure therapy. Through desensitization, the patient faces the situation or place that causes the patient to fear or anxiety. In the case of the hobo, he faces his fear that women cause him to have panic attacks by confronting them. When he realizes that women don't cause him to have panic attacks, his anxiety is lessened.
In basic terms, agoraphobia is a condition in which an individual fears or experiences great anxiety towards a place or situation and responds with avoidant behavior.
The hobo was once a very wealthy man. He went by the name of Charlie Sheen. He lived in the nicest house, drove the nicest cars, and even traveled to some of the world's most extravagant places. The man lived a luxurious lifestyle until a woman who goes by the name of Betty White scammed him and robbed him of his money. When the news of White's scam came to Charlie's ears, he spun out of control and experienced a severe panic attack during one of his big parties. Hundreds of his guests saw him and began tweeting about his embarrassing moment. Charlie, now traumatized by this event, was without a home and was forced to live on the streets. Now afraid of all women, he associates his anxiety attacks with the female gender.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
I've been sent here to help you.
Help me with what?
I was told that you had agoraphobia.
What?
Agoraphobia, it's literally the fear of open spaces.
How can you be afraid of open spaces?
People with agoraphobia aren't necessarily afraid of open spaces. They may be afraid of having a panic attack and embarrassing themselves. Sometimes they're even afraid of being in a particular situation. And because of their fears, they try to avoid being in those situations and sometimes become homebound.
Even though that sounds like me, I have my doubts.
So it's true.
Is what true?
You ever leave this place?
No. But
You know, you can come down to my office. It's only a few blocks from here. We can try and sort you out your fears.
like I said before, I'm pretty sure I don't have a snorephobia, or whatever it is you think.
Come on, man. I'll even take you out to lunch. What do you say?
I'd rather not. We might be around women, and every time I'm around women, I feel like I'm having a heart attack and that I'm about to die. What if it happens in public? And people start staring at me. Can you imagine what people would think if they saw me losing my marbles, all just because a woman got too close to me?
You have agoraphobia. There's no doubt about it. Come with me and we will help you overcome your fears. My office is literally right around the corner, so you have nothing to worry about.
Are you still going to buy me lunch?
Where do you want to eat?
I don't know. Surprise me. I'll be waiting in your office.
Okay, let's get started. And now, earlier, you said that women make you feel like you're about to have a heart attack, right?
Yep, that's how it is.
Now, can you tell me why that is?
Well, it all started back when I was rich.
When you were rich.
Yep, I had tons of money. Up
How-
until I lost it.
How'd you lose your money?
Well, a woman by the name of Betty White scammed me.
I see.
You see what?
What was your first reaction to losing your money?
A friend of mine called me and told me what Betty White had done. When I heard the news, I felt like I couldn't breathe and I felt like I was about to die.
Well, that doesn't mean women necessarily trigger your anxiety attack.
I didn't say it did. I do have to add, though, later on I went to live with my brother, and I was fine all day until the wife came home. As soon as she walked in, my heart started racing again, and I curled up into a ball and started singing, "She'll be coming around the mountain." That's why I'm living over here.
So what you're telling me is that when you're around women, you're afraid of getting these potentially embarrassing panic attacks.
That sounds about right.
It seems like you need to confront your fears.
Easier said than done. You know, I feel like I'm about to die around women because I have to keep from losing my cool.
Don't worry, we will start off slow and work our way up.
Sounds good to me. It does get old never being able to leave, and I'd like to move on around.
Okay, first we are going to try to reduce your emotional response to the negative stimuli, in this case, women.
And how are you going to do that?
First you're going to talk to a woman on the phone while looking at a picture of her. I think that'll help.
That doesn't sound too bad.
You know, you've done very well so far, and I believe you're ready to confront your fears of being anxious around women.
Whoa, Doc, you seem to be moving a little bit fast for me. You expect me to just start walking up and talking to them now?
No, I don't expect you to just walk up to them. You know, there's no rational reason for you to have panic attacks as a result of just being around women. You've had a few bad experiences, but I want you to confront your fears so you can move on in life without your agoraphobia.
I do believe the phone call helped. I think it's time to confront my fears. Who knows, maybe everything will be okay after all.
That's the spirit. Good job.
Well, Doc, I wouldn't say you've cured me yet, but I did just confront my fears and I'm still alive, so that's a little bit of a success. Maybe in time I will get rid of agoraphobia. I guess baby steps are what it takes to move on.
Good luck.